Mikel Merino was on top form for Spain this international break, and I'm going to be going over his performances. I've talked about Mikel Merino being somebody who loves to get on the front foot and loves to press high. Here he is here. And here is the ball, obviously this is against Denmark, the first game. They love to play out from the back, but I love the front-footedness of Merino. He's attacking the space. A bit like Calafiori last video, I talked about how he's really aggressive. Merino is the same. But I think the difference is with Mikel Merino, he has the experience, the know-how of how to be aggressive and win the ball back. And in this instance, alongside Lamine Yamal and Morata, a really good, I don't know, you can call it this triangle of press. They win the ball off like I'll now show. Here it is, look how aggressive Merino is, his long legs, wins that ball back, and look where it goes, straight to a Spain player. I love this press from him and I love the aggressiveness. I don't think Arsenal fans know how press resistant Mikel Merino is. I really love how composed he is on the ball. As you can see here, he's absolutely, boxed in or triangled in, and there's not really a pass you can see on for him. But this is where Mikel Merino is really nifty. For a big fella, he's 6'2". He really does know how to maneuver his body. The way he gets out of these tight spaces, it's really impressive. And Denmark, of course, are a fantastically technical and physical team. So just look at the way that Merino gets out of this pressure. You can see this translating in the Premier League with Arsenal. When teams press us, Merino will be in a good position, and he's good enough to get away from the press. Here it is, lovely feet to get away from the opposition midfielder, then a beautiful pass into the feet of his teammate, and then look at him, he wants that back, and then he plays again, a beautiful ball out wide, really good stuff. If you didn't know, Mikel Merino actually does play a different role for Spain. He's been playing in the 10, which was really interesting. Here he is. Look at how advanced he is, the furthest man forward. And I know a lot of Arsenal fans have been questioning how good Merino is in these forward areas. Does he have a brain freeze? Because let's be honest, we loved Granit Xhaka, but in the forward areas, you could kind of tell sometimes he'd get this sort of nosebleed. And this is no disrespect to Granit. It's just he wasn't that sort of player to be really potent in these final third areas. But here Mikel Merino is. He just looks so comfortable, and when he received this ball in, I love the way he's quick with his feet. You'll see he just has this composure, this elegant way of playing for someone so big, 6'2". It's not normal the way he moves sometimes. Here it is, the ball is fizzed into his feet. Deal with that, and deal with that he does, really good. The defender comes to pressure him, no problem, tries to go inside, doesn't see that's open, then goes backwards and plays a cute little pass into Fabian. Really loved this bit of stuff from Merino in a high position. This was probably my favourite action from Mikel Merino throughout the clips that I've watched from his games for Spain. Here he is here, and what I want you guys to do, there's no text on this one, guess which pass that Mikel Merino does. You can see the options in there. The number 5 is there, Fabian is there, ball into feet there, ball into feet there, ball here as well. Well, if you said any of the ones that I've put an arrow on, you would be incorrect, because Mikel Merino fizzes a beautiful ball into the feet of Morata. It's the awareness to see that Morata's onside, but then the confidence to execute that pass. There's a bridge of 3 players here. Not many players would want to do that, but he's a progressive player. I've talked about Mikel Merino being someone who's not afraid to play those balls that are going to be, sort of intercepted potentially, because he's quite creative. He sees stuff, he wants stuff to happen, he wants to attack. Yes, he can do the dirty work. Yes, he can receive in tight spaces, but can he play forward? Can he create? Yes, he can. And you'll see in the clip how well he does with his pass into the feet of Morata. Beautifully weighted. Well, here it is. Look at the composure, the pauser, waiting with the ball, and then he sees it. Morata, ball to feet, fizzes it in there, and it's just brilliant to see from Merino. Something a bit different, this may not be the most interesting clip or analysis, but what I love about Merino is his feel for the game, and this is what Arteta, he's all about. Do you know when to speed the game up, and do you know when to slow the game down? Here in this scenario, you may be thinking, Merino, why are you not playing that ball into there? Why can't you drive or potentially play it into here? Morata is here as well. Why aren't you doing that? But sometimes you've got to think about the next pass. If the player receives the ball from Merino in these scenarios, are they going to be in a position to attack and create a good opportunity? If not, then why are you passing it? And this is what Merino does in this specific clip. He turns around, he's assessed his options, he sees there's nothing there, and it's really good to see from this, because I know Arsenal fans, you'll watch the games and you'll see sometimes Arteta saying slow down, calm down, and you're just screaming at the television for the player to play it forward. But in football, sometimes you've got to have this thing called pauser, this awareness of the game, and knowing when to play forward and when to go backwards. So here it is, Merino, the ball back to him from Morata isn't great at all, but then look at the awareness, he sees he's not in control, sees there's no options for the next player when they receive the ball, so he turns around and plays a nice one into the feet of Zubimendi, and Spain can build from there. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I certainly have noticed Arsenal are definitely attempting a lot more switches this season, and I looked at the game against Denmark for Mikel Merino, and there was sort of certain times, you know, where he would try the balls over the top, try switches, and I really like this one here. You know, he sees there's maybe the easy pass in there, easy pass in there, easy pass in there, and you know, I just now talked about pauser, but then you got to know when to speed the game up, and Merino tries a lovely ball into there. It's a bit over here, it's a bit hard for the, you know, sort of teammate to control, but it's seeing that pass. 9 times out of 10 he'd execute it. This time it wasn't executed to perfection, but really nice to see him, you know, see that this ball is on, because here the player can just advance, then there's options in here. He's thinking about the next pass is available for the player when they receive the switch. So here it is, decent control from him, sees the game, sees the space, and switches the ball. Not the best pass, but the idea is there, and that's what I love to see from Mikel Merino. So let's just look in isolation at the stats from Merino in those 2 games he played. Versus Denmark, on the left, 24 touches, 82% accurate passes. You know, this is in 28 minutes. He's also won 4 out of 6 of his duels. Really, really lovely stuff. You know, 1 out of 1 long balls. You can just see he's an absolute monster. Nice 7-point run rating as well. Then you look against Serbia, 65 minutes played, 43 touches, 84% accurate passes. 1 key pass in both games, didn't mention the one against Denmark, but he got one. He also hit the post with a header against Serbia, and he won 3 out of 6 of his ground duels and 2 out of 2 of his aerial duels. So a really, really positive international break for Mikel Merino, which is good for us.
So there we have it, Gunners. Mikel Merino with a really positive international break. For me, he looks almost ready to start for us now. And I'm only saying almost because Thomas Partey has been really impressive for me. And I don't feel like it will be fair to Thomas Partey based on his form to completely drop him. But Merino definitely looks like a player who can come into the side and start properly getting things ticking. Because I feel like, you know, the clips that I saw, he can really get a relationship building with Calafiori and Martinelli. We already saw it in his mini cameos for us. But, you know, the performances for Spain, the tackles, the knowing when to press in this higher position as well, the way he was receiving the ball in the pockets of spaces, the line breaking passes, all of this is really, really good stuff. And I'm sure Mikel Arteta was watching the international break games. Of course, he's Spanish, and saw Mikel Merino play really positively and seen him, you know, in a really, really good way. And I'm sure Arsenal fans, after watching this video, you're possibly thinking, Mikel Merino, you look very ready to come into the side and we're going to win absolutely everything. But anyway, Gunners, that's it for now. Hope you have enjoyed, and until next time, peace.